transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. We are going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp.
The story that we saw throughout the campaign is that this town in particular has failed America.
To Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. Washington flourished, but the people did not share.
96% of the D.C. population did not vote for President Trump. So D.C. is kind of an anomaly versus the rest of the country, where it isn't necessarily as receptive to our incoming president.
I have reservations about his ability to make it 4 years in this city. In fact, in my office, we've been taking bets that he might make it 2 years before he does something so egregious that he either gets run out of town or decides to resign out of embarrassment.
I would assume he's going to have a hard time for the next 4 years, especially since a lot of people in D.C. work for government and work for congressmen and congresswomen. I think that they're going to have a really challenging time.
To say that everyone here is just affiliated with the government, or that we're some sort of swamp or federal elitists that need to be drained. It's not exactly, we're not exactly welcoming, I guess, in terms of wanting him to be in our neighborhood. It's not setting good neighborly vibes.
We are going to drain the swamp.
The problem is when you take on the swamp, the people in the swamp, they don't want to see the swamp drained. So there's going to be a lot of opposition or resistance, because he believes Washington has become too big and too influential. I guarantee you the lobbyists are lined up right now trying to devise strategies to stop Donald Trump.
The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country.
Oh, I think there's always resistance, but, I think that he's making a new establishment that speaks to the concerns of the working men and women of this country. And I'm confident that that's going to be a leadership position that many of the members of the so-called establishment will be following instead of resisting.
You don't know what to expect, and I think people are kind of on the edge of their seats.
Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C.